Hello, and welcome back to episode 8 of the Jedi and the Spark Show. My name is Obi.
And I am Peju.
And together we are the Jedi and
the Spark.
Yes, sirree. So welcome to episode 8.
Up
we
a
are.
Minute. Someone's looking good.
Oh,
Someone's
wow.
Looking fine.
You noticed. Noticed.
I was talking about me.
Nasty. Nasty.
I'm looking good.
Okay,
You're
you
looking
absolutely
fly. You're looking fly. Tell us about this gorgeous outfit.
Well, do you know what? I won this outfit.
I was
Yeah, I won this outfit. So, and it was a surprise. So really excited about it. It was Dinner for Dads.
Yes.
A few weeks ago, celebrating Father's Day. I had no idea that you had planned it. You just said, meet me somewhere. And I thought, oh, Peju's performing somewhere. So, of course, I'll be the nice chaperone. And little did I know it was focused on Dad. So it was a special event. It really, I had so much fun.
Yes.
It also brought up...
Well, before that, you actually won this. It was a dancing competition, and I was one of the judges, and I wasn't biased. You were one of the best dancers. So you were top 3, and this is the outfit you
It
won?
was indeed, yes. I didn't expect there was a... catwalk equivalent, and we had a catwalk equivalent, right? Had to strut and dance. It was cool.
It was
I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. But of course, for me, Father's Day events, even though I'm a father of 3, it's still grown up. It was just one of those sore moments, really, of not having had a father in my life present. Then it brings up the father wound, and I've had to work through some forgiveness over the years, and actually today, episode 8, we're talking about forgiveness, but forgiveness in relationship, right? Forgiveness, and why forgiveness might be the most powerful gift in your marriage.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why we've talked about the most powerful gift.
Yeah, we've talked about many gifts over the course of season 1. We've talked about gifts we've spent money on. We've talked about worst anniversary gifts. Forgiveness might be that sacred gift that you give. And why does it matter? I want to start with why a lack of forgiveness it just causes so much damage in the relationship.
Sure.
A lack of forgiveness builds walls.
Yeah.
A lack of forgiveness breeds bitterness.
Yeah.
A lack of forgiveness puts up barriers. You're living together, but you're living very separate lives. And then you think about the gift of forgiveness and how that builds bridges. It brings freedom, forgiveness. It strengthens the partnership and the dynamic. Forgiveness is unifying in the relationship. And we'll share more about how that has been a gift to us as well. So that's why it matters.
Yeah.
It brings so much good.
Yeah.
So much good.
And we've talked about some of the lessons that we have learned over the years, and this idea that on the other side, right, of the difficulty, challenge, all of that, pushing through is so much goodness. And a big part of that is on the other side of forgiveness, right? On the other side of forgiveness, there's growth, there is joy, there's connection.
So why is it
doesn't
so hard?
mean it's just before we go into why it's hard, I was just thinking a lot of people would have heard this idea that people liken a lack of forgiveness, bitterness, to wishing that someone else would drink poison, but you drink it yourself.
Yeah.
And that's a thing. Forgiveness, that's one of the reasons why it matters.
Yes.
For your own sense of peace.
Yeah, they say you
and
drink
well-being.
poison, hoping somebody else will feel the effect.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're drinking this poison of unforgiveness, but you're wishing and hoping and desiring that somebody else will die from that poison, but it's in your system.
So that's one of the reasons.
Yeah.
But you say what makes it so hard? Because we're not saying this is easy. part of it is, do you remember Connie Podesta?
Oh, yes.
The American
Yes.
comedian, and she's got this skit where she says, life would be great if it wasn't for other people.
I agree.
And I think
Honey,
there's something
I am with
so
you,
true
sister.
about that, right?
Yeah.
That as soon as you've got someone else in the equation, we rub each other up the wrong way. Often we hurt the people we love the most. So ego can get in the way, right? It's how dare you hurt me? And pride, old wounds can make it hard. Unspoken pain.
Oh.
So let's say you're the sort of person that doesn't know how to talk about what's gone on or the hurt that has built up, or you think, oh, I'll just let it slide.
Yeah.
That builds up and it can become really hard.
And toxic.
And toxic.
Yeah, definitely. I hear that.
Now, should we don't want to just make this theory. We've often said that. Right? We want to share some of our own story and what we've had to work through. And we've linked to one of this, to this story in one of the previous episodes about a situation that we've had to work through, that we've been through, that has required forgiveness and required just working through that.
And before that, we were going to talk about how forgiveness has helped us as individuals, even before we talk about how it's impacted the relationship. So I was going to say, personally, forgiveness has been a gift for me as an individual. Now, of course, it's something that blesses the relationship and brings good to the relationship. But for me as an individual, I feel like there are heights I've been able to scale. There's freedom and more and abundance I've been able to step into because I've not allowed the weight and the baggage of unforgiveness to keep me so low that I can't do anything or achieve anything. Yeah. So personally, even for me as a woman, as an individual, as the wife in the relationship, forgiveness has been a gift.
Yeah. Forgiveness is absolutely freeing. You can't talk about forgiveness and not only on a personal level, but think of some phenomenal figures like Nelson Mandela, right? In prison for 27 years. And I often quote this in some of the keynotes or workshops that I run, where he says, as I walked out the gate towards the door towards the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew that if I didn't leave bitterness and hatred behind, then I'd still be stuck in prison. Wow. And just this idea that we can create prisons for ourselves when we don't forgive. And I think of the freedom, the sense of purpose, the joy that I've experienced on the other side of forgiveness. That's been a huge gift for me. So, and then on that note, though, I want to talk about one of the situations that we found really hard. So very early on in our marriage, I felt that you couldn't handle my ambition or my drive, my focus, the things I was going after. And it was really difficult. I think I've said this before, I felt that you were against me rather than for me and weren't with me and support. And man, it was difficult. It led to just feelings of resentment or close to feelings of resentment. I felt that it was holding me back rather than propelling me forward, and that you were trying to change me.
Right.
That you were trying to change me rather than, hey, this is who I am, this is how I'm wired, and how do we find the in it rather than just say, hey, you need to be different, you need to be like me in a sense. And that was a very difficult thing to work through, and definitely had to process a lot of forgiveness about that.
Yeah. I would say in that situation, we also talk to friends.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Really crucial.
Yeah, that's certainly what helped. Yeah.
Having good friends to sit with us as we talk through the difficulties, as we talk through the hurt, We talked through the misunderstanding.
The different perspectives that we had. Yeah.
And helping friends in our lives to help us to see the and. Because then
that's true. Yeah,
we couldn't see it on our own. So we were really fortunate to have good friends who knew us both and who were for us both and who could hear us both and help us to hear each other well.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the longest, most difficult seasons that we went through. And I would say for me, that forgiveness was firstly forgiving myself for putting a yoke on you, a burden on you that wasn't yours to carry. So there was a certain picture that I had that Obi would be this sort of guy, the Jedi would lead in this sort of way. And I had to let go of that and forgive myself for strangling you, for want of a better word. Not physically. I don't roll like that. Metaphorically. So forgiveness for self. And I would say forgiveness for what I deemed you were doing.
Sure.
Which was putting your ambition before me, putting your ambition before us, our marriage, our we, putting your ambition before our family, reading into the situation that, gosh, Obi's not as committed to us as I thought he would be. But I've had to do my own deep inner work and, touch some of my own feelings of abandonment and touch some of my own insecurities about not being as ambitious. Talked about that in a couple of episodes ago where I talked about not being as ambitious career-wise. And even now, just beginning to really understand that your ambition blesses our family. And we talked about, finances and money in the last episode. And now I see that actually it takes ambition for you to provide well for us. So that was my own way and my own lens of looking at that situation. And what did forgiveness mean for me then? Yeah.
And you've highlighted a couple of things and we'll transition into how do you do it well. Sometimes forgiveness is about forgiving yourself too. Sometimes forgiveness is about it's a perception that we have, but there are also situations where it's actually you are doing something wrong, right? And so it's not always a perception. So it can be it is something that is dangerous. And so as we talk about how do you do it, we want people to recognize that if you are in a situation where you're being hurt physically, you're being abused, then this isn't about, I'll just let them slap me around and I'll forgive because that's what they said on the Jedi. No, right? You get out of a situation that isn't safe.
Safety first.
We talked about this when we were talking about championing each other, right? And how, as a man, if generally speaking, men are physically stronger in a relationship, are using that strength as a force for good. Right? It's not about slapping your partner around. It's not about hurting, physically, emotionally, psychologically abusing them. That is wrong. Now, of course, in situations like that, hey, get professional help, get out. And of course, if you do work through that, there's forgiveness required, and so some of this will help. But we just want to make sure that people acknowledge safety first. Safety first.
Definitely. That's a big one.
But then there's a lot of the hurt that is, it's the day-to-day, the relational, the rubbing emotional, the perception, rubbing each other up the wrong way. I'm a 6-phase meditation trainer, and one of the 6 phases is forgiveness. And there are 8 steps, and I'll talk through them quickly. It's something that's done in 3 minutes, but it really gives it gives some great. I'll put a link in the show notes for this great meditation program developed by Vishen Lakhiani. But in the 3 minutes, just those 8 steps just provide some powerful components for forgiving well. So
forgiving well, that's what we're talking about.
Forgiving well.
How do you forgive well in your relationship?
And then finding that path back to connection
Right.
again. So,
Yeah.
so first of all, it's identifying the person, and it may be your spouse, and then the specific act that, so you got to be really clear about, so what is it that they've done that you need to forgive? And then creating a space for it. Sometimes that space may just be in your minds, or it's just, hey, what's the right healthy space to have this conversation? And then reading the charge. So being really clear about, when you do this, like these specific actions made me feel, and we've talked about nonviolent communication before, right?
Yeah.
Just being really clear about, this has impacted me in this way, and allowing yourself to feel it. It's actually okay. It's actually, that rubbed me up the wrong way. That made me angry. That really hurt. That just upset me. That made me feel abandoned. Whatever the case may be. And feel it, but then start to transition. And this is an important part of just forgiving well, is thinking of what you have learned from the situation. Just overall, right? And I think one of the reasons that we're able to revisit the difficult situations that we've been through is because we've taken the time to learn from it. And we've often had this thing of, when things are going well, right? Hey, let's revisit that difficult moment and learn from it, right? So that
we do that.
Because otherwise what happens is some people they just move on. It's like, oh yeah, we got over that, let's move on. Like, no, what can we learn from it? Because it's bound to rear its ugly head in a different way, right? There could be a trigger. So that's the fifth thing. Think of what you've learned. And then think of how the other person may have been hurt themselves. Like, what's going on for them? Because hurt people hurt people. Broken people hurt people, right? Break people. And we've all got brokenness in us. And so what could be going on for them? Because sometimes it's not just about, what I've done, but it's actually what could be going on for them.
That's a good way to see
that.
Mm-hmm.
And then seventh thing, see the situation from their eyes, right? So that just helps give perspective. It doesn't necessarily mean, empathy. And it doesn't mean that, again, back to some of the more extreme situations of, hey, why were they slapping me around? It's like, no, that doesn't make it okay. But just seeing it from their eyes, and then you realize, actually, maybe they were abused. And so, do you know what? You really need help here.
Yeah.
And then forgiving to love. And that love is being able to say, hey, that I can... Forgiveness, and this is something else that's really important to understand. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting.
That's crucial.
It's not about forgetting. It's about saying, do you know what? I'm not going to hold this against you, right? There may be consequences for what you've done, but I'm not going to hold this against you because I don't want that bitterness, right? It's that thing of, I don't want to hold on to this bitterness, and it's letting the bitterness go. So that's one way that you can do it.
Right.
Well,
so that's the 6-phase meditation.
So it's a 6-phase meditation, but this is a specific part of it, just the forgiveness component.
And this forgiveness component takes 3 minutes.
It can take that's 3 minutes if you're doing it as a meditation, but of course it doesn't mean as a conversation, it can be much longer, right? And we had to work through it over years. We would say some of the bigger things, just work through it over years.
So this takes time. So we're not saying this is something to rush. What we're encouraging couples in a relationship is that this is something to address. This is something to address. Take the first step. And it could mean that if you're in a relationship where you've swept so much under the carpet, it's time to start revisiting those things. Maybe firstly with yourself alone. To see, what is it that I haven't spoken about for years, for decades? What is it that I need to bring up? What is it that I need to own up to? What is it that I need to start having clarity on, just so that freedom starts to flow through what used to be just stuff that we swept under the carpet.
Absolutely. And I want to link back to something you said earlier on that is important when it comes to forgiveness, is forgiving ourselves, because sometimes it's, hey, forgiving myself for what I put up with
Right.
over a long period. It's
Yeah.
I didn't realize that
Yeah.
actually I had a sense of agency or
Yes.
my self-worth. I
Oh,
let you put me
yes.
down for
Yeah.
so long, or tolerated this. And so there's a bit of that's got to go on as well. It's just forgiving yourself and just say, hey, sometimes, right, we do the best we can with what we have, with the perspective that we have at the time. And so that helps with the journey. But this is all about, we're about helping couples thrive in all seasons.
Defo.
You will always go through those bumps and the difficulties. And then how do you find that path back to connection? Forgiveness is just the biggest gift that you can give each other.
Forgiveness is crucial.
Yeah.
It's crucial.
Yeah.
Okay. That's helpful.
Yeah.
I was also going to say, apart from the meditation, what helps me specifically is to write. It's to journal. So while Obi's meditating, I'm journaling.
I'm meditating and speaking, but I'm just saying it's something.
Writing things down helps to get some of the aggro out through my fingers onto a book. And also speaking to friends that I trust helps to get the aggro out of my mind, the junk out of my heart, to sound that with somebody else. So when I come back and I say, hey, this is something we need to talk about, it is not so intense and not so full of poison.
Poison. But yeah, I've done that tons as well, just chatting with friends about stuff that's going on, getting perspective. And we said earlier on, sitting down with friends, couples, and just talking through it. So
helpful.
So many different strategies.
Having couples you trust is so helpful.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, we've gone back to that time and time again, really, just how critical that is. Now, I'm thinking, given the nature of this topic, there will undoubtedly be questions in people's minds. There are,
for our listeners,
there are two that come to mind. One is, how do I know if I've truly forgiven someone? Right? How do I know if I've truly forgiven my spouse? And then, can forgiveness happen if they never apologize?
Wow.
So,
those are deep questions.
Which one do you want to handle?
I'll go with the first one.
Okay.
Say that one again.
So how do I know if I've truly forgiven someone?
I can only speak for myself, because for different people, it'll be different things. For me, how do I know that I've truly forgiven you? Peace for me is a real sign. When I feel peaceful.
I feel it too.
Get over it.
Yeah.
When
I can tell when you haven't.
When I feel peace within my soul, peace within my inner world, then I know that forgiveness has happened or is happening. When there's not this anxious hardening of my heart towards you, when I'm not using the children to get to you, like, oh, can you ask daddy to do this? And can you tell dad it's time to go? And can you tell dad dinner's ready? When I'm not using the kids, when I can come to you directly, when there's the bridge that connects us and not the wall that kind of keeps us apart as a barrier. And I would say really crucially, when we can talk about it. When I can talk about it with you without the daggers that I feel when I haven't forgiven. I would say, but peace is a sign, and being able to talk about it freely, even when it hurts.
Sure.
But just,
okay.
we can talk about it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd say. Yeah. What about you? Number 2.
So, can forgiveness happen if they never apologize? This is where the meditation really comes into its own. Because when I talked about it earlier, I was talking about it as, here are some steps, but I meant that you can use it in a conversation, right, to guide the conversation. But really, forgiveness can happen because it happens really in the mind, first of all. It happens within us. It's where I don't hold this thing against you. I think of people that I've had to forgive that I haven't been able to have the conversations with them. My dad passed away when I was 11, 12. So haven't been able to have a conversation with him about just a lack of presence and all of that. But I can forgive, right? Because you work through some of those steps, start to see actually what was going on for them. What is it that they might not quite grasp and connect with.
What could they have been exposed
What could they
to?
have been exposed to? And so it's really powerful.
Yeah.
It can be an amazing experience to forgive, even if the other person hasn't apologized. Now, this is where, especially in a marital relationship, when it's happening over and over again, there are other things to bring in. It's the communication. It's important to let people know, hey, when you do this, it impacts me. So it's important to do that. But you can forgive even if the other person doesn't apologize, because you've got the power to.
Yeah. So it starts with you.
It starts with you.
It starts with the individual. And I was going to add to that, you can only take responsibility for your forgiveness. I can't force you to forgive.
Sure, yeah.
You can't force me to forgive you.
Well, I can, but I'm just kidding. A bit like, when you said, hey, your money is my money is my money. I just thought, actually, yeah, you can't force me to give, but I can force you. But anyway.
That's the Jedi and his, what you call...
I know, that's the Jedi going to the dark side.
Right. Like I was saying before I was really interrupted. I can't force you to forgive me. You can't force me to forgive you, but I can take responsibility for choosing to forgive you, for choosing to forgive myself, for choosing to forgive the situation.
Yeah.
And I could even choose to be an example of what true forgiveness looks like. Because sometimes we're hoping the other person will do it first, but we can also choose to step into those bigger shoes and mirror what it looks like for peace to be a part of the next step of the conversation about forgiveness by showing it, not just talking about it.
Yeah. And in summary, you've said this word a few times. It's a choice. Like, ultimately, forgiveness is a choice.
A good choice that brings goodness.
Absolutely.
To you as an individual, to the marriage.
Yeah.
To the family as a unit. So, forgiveness.
That's it. So, let's go to spin the wheel. And it's a special one
on
this time.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah. Spin the wheel.
Let's go. Hello and welcome back to the point where...
Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel.
Let's go.
Okay, let's do it. This is on forgiveness.
There's a lot of writing on this.
Yeah, there is.
Dear me.
We'll have some essays.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so...
Ooh.
All right, so...
When did your partner forgive you for something you didn't expect?
Wow, okay, wow, that is a good one.
Okay, when did you forgive me for something I didn't expect? Do you have one?
Do I have one? So when did your partner forgive you for something you didn't expect?
I'm going to go to what you said at the start of this conversation about the really difficult season we went through.
Sure.
It was long, and we needed a lot of unpicking of how we both felt, the hurt we were both feeling. I expected you to understand where I was coming from. I wasn't sure I expected you to forgive me the way you did, is what I'd say. And I remember years later even asking you, have you forgiven? Now, I knew we'd moved on and we were in a much better place, but you had forgiven me even without me realizing.
Sure.
So that was a really big deal. So there I was thinking, I wonder if he has. Now we're in a great place. But then you were like, babe, yeah, defo. Yeah, I've kind of forgiven, moved on from that. So for me, that was a gift years after the really tough moments that we went through. Yeah.
I'm thinking...
Would you want to answer another one?
Well, yeah, let's see.
Yeah, let's see what else comes up.
See another one.
Yeah, we don't have to...
Because I couldn't think of...
Answer the same one. Could do another one.
Okay, what's your biggest overreaction that still makes you cringe? Ooh, let's see. Have I... My biggest overreaction...
I even know it.
Do you know it?
Of course, I think I know
Which
it.
Which one was
but
it?
But this is me reading Obi's...
No, go on. Just which
one? The tissues in the kitchen that I...
Oh
Would
my!
that-
Oh wow! Oh yeah.
Just
Yeah. Just
leaving things and not cleaning up
just
after. Yeah.
not clean. So I just think, hey, I clean up as I go.
You learned that from your mom. She's
I did.
amazing.
I learned it from my mum. Yeah, clean up as I go, and you like to do stuff and do your magic creatively in the kitchen, all over the kitchen, and
every pot in the
with every pot, all 50 of them, and it's a wonderful dish, and then it's just this mess, and I definitely
Explosion.
react to that, and and it makes me cringe a little.
Still does.
Makes me cringe a little. All right, I think let's transition. We'll do some of the others
Next
another time. I think it's time for a Spark resource and a Jedi challenge.
Alrighty, so Spark Resource, you all know, well, I've said this a few times about the book that I wrote on the power of the spoken word.
Indeed.
Called A Poetic Odyssey of Proclamations. There's a chapter called In Your Discord, Proclaim Forgiveness. And why is this important? Firstly, forgiveness for yourself, and then for the other. It's been said that forgiveness can heal a lot of mess.
Wow, that's so good.
It sets us free so we can see clearly what step to take next. And the proclamation I've written on forgiveness in the book is, forgiveness. Now we are clearly divided, but with forgiveness, we can be united. I now set myself free by offering forgiveness when we disagree.
Wow. I like that. That's so I'm setting myself free.
By offering you, the other person, forgiveness.
Yeah. That's really good. So here, I'm going to throw in a Jedi challenge now. Just identify, think of maybe a pain in the past that in your relationship that you haven't quite forgiven. And just work through, carve out some time, make a note of it, reflect on it, think, pray, whatever you need to do. Journal, and just take steps forward towards forgiveness. Some of what Peju talked about earlier on, if there isn't that sense of peace, and if you haven't really learnt the lessons from it, then it's worth exploring. So that would be the Jedi challenge. Identify past pain, use the 8 steps that I talked about earlier on just to work through some of that and take steps forward to forgiveness.
It'll only bring good.
It will.
A lot of good. Here we
It
go.
will. So a lot of good, deep topic, important one.
Definitely.
And our time has come to an end.
Yet
it has
again.
come to an end. But of course, we would love you to subscribe, like and share. Like and share. If this has triggered some difficult stuff for you, then do get some support, some professional support. Email us at the Jedi and the Spark show, I think it is, at gmail.com. I always never really remember it, but it'll be in the show notes.
Don't worry.
And of course, until next time,
here we go.
May the Force be with you as you grow and as you get to the other side of forgiveness.
And may your spark always burn bright as you choose to forgive yourself and as you choose to offer forgiveness to the other. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Watching episode
8. Episode 8. All right. See you soon.
Time.
Over and out.
Thank you.